Hey, folks, and welcome. Just a quick outline. I will talk about my career in games and my move to Finland. I'll give some historical background to game development in Finland and how that helped shape the community here. And I will talk about IGDA Finland and answer any questions that you may have. If anyone in the audience relocates to Finland, I do encourage you to get involved with the organizations and meetup groups that are here, both to help with networking and your integration in Finland. So my name is Christopher Hamilton. I am Director of Developer Relations in Europe for Genvid Technologies. At Genvid, we are working with a wide range of game makers to create new types of massively social, always-on, highly interactive game experiences. And I am also on the board of the IGDA. This is the HQ board based in the US. I'm still active in IGDA Finland as an advisor and helping organize events here. I've been in the games industry since 2007, and here are some of the better known companies that I've worked for on the left. I'm an American, but I used to live in St. Petersburg, Russia. I actually got my start in the industry when I was invited to translate games from Russian into English at a company called Nevasoft, where I eventually evolved into a number of different roles. I moved to Helsinki in 2014 when I got a job offer to work at Rovio. And I feel very strongly about giving back to the community by working with various organizations, which you can see on the right. I'm also on the board of the Finnish Game Jam that organizes numerous game jams around Finland throughout the year. And my undergraduate degree was in environmental studies and the media, so I'm also working on a United Nations environment program called Playing for the Planet. So obviously, if anybody's interested in any of this, do feel free to reach out to me. So why did I move to Finland? There really wasn't a company in St. Petersburg where I could advance my career beyond what I was doing at Nevasoft, which for me was an amazing school, and I love and miss those guys. I had job offers in Seattle and Helsinki, and ultimately I chose Helsinki. It was sort of closer to St. Petersburg. I figured I could go back and visit. I had a lot of friends there. I had some friends here. But IGDA Finland actually played a large part in my decision making. While I was still working in Russia, I came to Helsinki for Slush and for Pocket Gamer. And on one trip for Slush in particular, I needed to write a number of company blog posts. IGDA Finland had a networking party here before the event. I didn't know anybody, but I just kind of went to the event, chatted with some people, got introduced to people that were starting some companies, one guy that was funding companies, another person from an incubator. And in one night over a bunch of beers, I had all the material I needed for an entire week of blog posts. It was amazing. The people were very helpful, very open to discussions, and I was just really impressed. And so when I was thinking about relocating, I knew I wanted to be in a city that had events and a community of passionate, like-minded game developers that I could learn from and interact with. So the IGDA, for people who don't know, is an international organization. It has about 100 different chapters worldwide. Our mission statement, the IGDA supports and empowers game developers around the world in achieving fulfilling and sustainable careers. IGDA Finland is the Finnish chapter. We run events in 13 different cities across Finland. We usually meet monthly and run a variety of events with speakers or panel discussions. We provide demoing opportunities and networking possibilities. We also run mentor cafes at various conferences, and these are one-on-one sessions where we pair people either by topic or by discipline. So you have a senior person and a junior person, and they can learn from one another and share their experiences. Like everybody, we have been adjusting to COVID. We've been hosting online events, and we've had a few of these online events. But like game development, it is an iterative process. So we're taking feedback in and experimenting on how we can best meet the community's wants and needs. The Finnish game community has a rather unique culture of sharing. Its roots go back to Assembly, a demo scene event that started way back in the early 90s. And earlier this year, Finland's demo scene was added to UNESCO's list of intangible cultural heritage for humanity, which I think is super interesting. And most game development communities around the world, these are most cities in the States, in the UK, and other places, there are built around large AAA studios. And we have Remedy and Housemarque, both are renowned companies with award-winning games. And these are bigger companies that have hundreds of employees, and everybody has signed sort of publisher NDAs with Microsoft, Nintendo, Sony, or somebody. And so you don't really have the need for networking when it's centered around these bigger companies. because you have hundreds of employees to go out and have beers with after work, and you can't really talk about what you're working on because of the NDA. So in many ways, in Finland, we are standing on the shoulders of Nokia. Way back in the day, there were companies like Digital Chocolate and Mr. Good Living that were making small Java games for mobile that had small development teams of 5 to 10 people, um, maybe quick development cycles of maybe around 6 months or so. There was just a lot of need to kind of meet up and share everything. I think most importantly, Finland is a small market, so in order to succeed, we really needed to be successful on global markets. So Finland had a very Finland versus the rest of the world. There were no NDAs in place because most of these companies were selling their games to cellular providers, not only in Finland but all around the world. And so people needed to meet up, share their successes and failures, and support one another to be successful on that global market. And IGDA Finland was really founded on the basis of those meetups. You'll note that neither Digital Chocolate or Mr. Good Living are around today. We have this saying that companies come and go, but the community is here to stay. When I joined Rovio in 2014, it was just before one huge round of layoffs of 100 plus people. Then the following year, we laid off another 200. And that felt really scary at the time. But a lot of those people found positions at other companies. There were 4 to 5 different startups that were created. Some of those died and some of them survived. But in many ways, this is what drives the community forward. And it drove a lot of those companies forward because there was sort of an intermixing of experience and skills kind of moving around. And also it's this Finland's culture of sharing that put us in a position where now we are leading the rest of the world. When I was working at Rovio, the GDPR, European privacy legislation, was coming into effect. Technical and legal people from companies like Rovio, Supercell, Unity, along with Neo Games, started working together to have a unified approach to figuring out how to deal with the authorities and how to build a system so that the authorities wouldn't fine everybody. And as things got rolling, more Finnish companies joined, followed by SIBO in Denmark and Wargaming and a bunch of other big players who wanted to get involved. And so Finland may seem provincial, but it's truly a hotspot for games, and it is a world leader. So why network? It's always good to mix with people in your own specialized field, as well as to take a step back and look at the big picture. My first networking opportunity was at Casual Connect way back in 2007. It was the first time I met other people that were doing localization, and I learned a lot of best practices, and it helped me establish guidelines within our company to avoid problems and pitfalls and streamline our process. It was also the first time I saw the bigger picture. It was not just us making games, but I understood how our company's relationship worked with publishers, and it changed how I approached my work, and it really opened up new opportunities in working in partner relations and in other aspects of game development. Back then, we only attended 3 conferences a year because we really didn't have much of a game development community in St. Petersburg, and those were the only opportunities. It's also important to maybe crowdsource problem solving and shorten the learning curve. A quicker way to learn industry best practices. And just share ideas. Ideas are cheap, but execution is everything. Um, and we talk about that somebody is going to steal your idea, or there's this fear, and we feel that it is more likely that people will challenge your assumptions, will give you feedback, and will actually help you make a better game, or even perform better at your job if you're talking about work-related aspects. Odds are your company is outsourcing something: localization, QA, audio, marketing trailers, maybe influencers. This is a good chance to meet and talk to others about who they are working with. I think the same is true when working with publishers. Obviously, not all publishers are the same fit. There's different experiences in different types of genres and platforms, but still it's good to get recommendations from other developers and other people and share those experiences. It's an awesome chance to demo your game and get feedback. I personally believe that getting feedback from fellow developers is great because not only do you get solid advice, it often opens up conversations and sharing development experiences, both good and bad, and just can help with problem solving. Most importantly, I think it's just important to get excited about your work as well as what other people are working on. For small teams or anyone really, it's just a great place for moral support during difficult times, or particularly during the long dark slog through Finnish winter. It is just great to get together and support one another. Surveys consistently confirm that networking is the most effective way to get jobs and freelance opportunities, as well as build long-term relationships with people. Volunteering is one of the best ways to network, to establish trust with your peers, boost your profile, build your personal brand, establish some credibility. So I encourage you to get involved. And it doesn't have to be the IGDA. We have several hundred professional game developers in Helsinki. We have a wide range of active meetup groups. All of these different groups play a role in the ecosystem, and most of these groups can use an extra hand. Some people will say they are shy, but there are plenty of ways to help out and stay behind the scenes. You can help with social media posts, setting up Eventbrite, writing after action reports, or you can just help by setting up and cleaning up afterwards. Before COVID, I was normally attending an event or some sort of meetup once a week, which is a huge improvement over 3 times a year. With that, I'll close. Thank you. If you have any questions or feedback, feel free to reach out to me on LinkedIn. Please include a message explaining who you are, that you saw the presentation. I get a lot of inbound requests, and I typically do not accept them without some sort of personal note or message. And you can also reach me at IGDA Finland's virtual booth. So do reach out.
Thank you very much, Chris. And I encourage everyone, just go check out the IGDA stand for more information, and also get to know what the IGDA Finland is doing. There's also a couple of volunteers, I think so. But Chris, thank you very much. We need to move on to the next step. Thank you very much.
Okay, thanks everybody.